All right, beginning next week, I want to encourage you to be prepared to conduct something during this meeting. And you might even be able to use that for one of your reviews. So it'll, help you out there a little bit. So you could have a recording, you could have a live pianist. I realize that'd be harder to pull off, but just be prepared to conduct something.
Okay.
I'm not sure if Ryan's joining us or not. So we're going to go ahead and just keep processing the class. Did the instructions on Ryan's suggestion was that you guys just share your pictures of score analysis with each other through the discussion board. Have you tried to do that? Did that make sense?
I haven't, because I wasn't sure. Is this the score analysis of the piece that we did when we were at the workshop, or is this another one?
Let's go into Blackboard and see if it may need to be clarified.
It just says for a historic piece. Is that the one that we did? At the workshop?
I think we've only had one historic piece assigned. We can look at the syllabus and see, but I'm pretty sure there's only been one historic piece assigned.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. I wasn't sure if you were assigning a new one, if that was.
No, it would be a piece that has already been assigned, but we can go back and look at the syllabus and see if something else has been assigned.
Okay. Yeah, Ryan put his on the discussion board and it was fine.
Okay. We may take a look at his just to have a guinea pig one to do.
Okay.
All right, so he did it in discussion board?
Yes.
All right, let's go there so everybody can kind of see how this is going to work. Let's see, is that? No, that's not it. No. This is it.
That.
Okay. All right. Yeah, and that worked out well because it was just one page. Yeah, I think this could work. I was just saying that there may be another way to share the picture that would be, for example, you could bring a picture into a Google Drive file. Let me just actually show the whole class how you would do that. So let's say I was in Google Drive and let's see, I'm sure I've got a little folder set up I'm going to go to my conducting ensemble folder in fall 2016. And I'm just going to start a file here called, so I'm literally, for those who are watching the recording, I'm showing you how you could use Google Drive to share a picture with everybody pretty quickly. So I would just call this my score analysis, right? And then I could go in here and I could insert. Now I would have had to already taken a picture of it, of course, but then I could insert an image, and I'm just going to find some kind of, BTS picture here. All right, there's an image. So you see how that works, Linda?
I do. I'm new to Google Drive.
That might not be a better. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm new to Google Drive, and so I was confused on several of those assignments. Like when you sent us the email, I can open up those folders. Is that where we're supposed to put things into?
Well, you have a range of abilities in Google Drive. If I share a document with you, like I've now shared a performance practice document, I'll go back to that in a minute, but let's, as not to confuse the issue, let's stay with this for right now. So what I'm doing right now is I'm showing you how you can create a document. So
but are we creating it in your Google Drive so that everybody can see?
No, you're creating it in your Google Drive. Okay. In this scenario. Okay. In this scenario, but once I'm at this point, if I want to share this with the class, all I've got to do is hit share. And all right, now that's Ryan's because I happen to have his email in my as a copy pasted, but I can just copy paste everybody's emails right there and notice it says can edit, and I just send them the email. And so you have the ability to do that. Okay. Now that's not going to be an every week thing that you would need to do that on. I'm just saying for score analysis, this would be a pretty simple way to do it. You probably, so let's say you had 10 pages of score analysis. You'd have to insert each picture, all 10 pictures, right? So there might be a better, I'm sure there is a better way to do it, where there might be one file that had the whole thing. I know, for example, here's a way you could do it. I know in our office you can take scans of, in fact, the students on the MBTS campus could even use this feature with our Xerox. You can do a scan of an entire document and it'll email it to you as a PDF.
That's what I was planning on doing. That's what we use all the time.
That's probably the best way to do this. And then you could just share that document.
Because we can also just put that PDF into the discussion board too, which is, I think, what Ryan did.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, you could do that. And I will say he's right in the sense that the more we can keep in Blackboard, the better. Now, what you were asking about is when I shared with you guys,
like the performance.
Here it is.
Yeah.
So when I share this with you, now I'm sharing this from my Google Drive. And when I shared it, I'm giving all of you guys editing status. And you notice when I hit share, you notice that all these people have editing status. Notice it says shared with. I've already shared it with you. I have noticed that people that have Gmail accounts seem to be able to immediately access it. And if you don't have a Gmail account, it seems like they have to email me, even though I've shared it with editing status. They end up having to ask for permission, and then I have to answer their email. It makes it a little more tedious. So, of course, I'm just using the emails that you turned into to the school as your official email.
I can.
But once you're in here, so you can now all of us can type in here. Okay. So you wanna try to, while you're online, you wanna try to enter this, so just so you can see how that looks and works. If you go to Google Drive, you should have shared with me, and it should show this document.
That's what I'm confused on, because I have Google Drive on my computers, but it's for our syncing system with the ProPresenter 5. And so I don't know if I can have like my own account separate from that, or because I'm able to go.
You just log in to whichever email you want to use. Okay. I shared it. You're going to have to log into the email that I shared it with. So the email I shared it with, we can check it. If I hit shared, it's your official school email.
Right. I've got it open because I can open it from your email. And so
all right, you're in now. I just noticed you're in. You're in somehow.
So that was just going through your email.
Okay. Are you seeing it on your not through Blackboard, on your
yeah, that's on my other computer.
All right. Go down here and type something. Type something. There you go. There you go. And see, actually, not that you have to do it this way, but we could both be in here at the same time. I could say, I'm spelling your name wrong. Sorry. Not a test. You know what you were doing. Okay. See what I'm saying? So this is really cool when you're both in there at the same time.
Okay.
Because you literally can have a dialogue going live.
Okay. So when I finish,
if you had a question about something, you could say, Professor Woodward, you said the Baroque started, you know what, a better way to do that would be, let's say I wrote something you weren't sure about.
Mhm.
You could like highlight it and you could go insert comment and you say, Professor Woodward, you said the Baroque started in 1600, 1500? I thought it was 1600. Question mark.
Okay.
Now I could come back and I could say, Linda, you were right. I don't know what I was thinking. Not enough sleep. You see what I'm saying?
I do.
So this is super ideal. See, I think this is superior to anything in Blackboard for this kind of thing.
Okay.
And that's why I want to do it in Black. To me, this is so much better than discussion board.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not for everything, but for something like this, because we can all we can be on here at the same time or different times, but you can make comments, you could ask questions. And then when I've resolved it, I just put resolve it because I don't want to know the whole class to know I didn't even know when the Baroque period started.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, since this is on a recording, I do know when the Baroque period started. That was an example. I was playing a joke on myself. Okay. So you're just going to go in here and, start filling in some of these gaps. You don't have to feel like you got to write a thesis on all this.
Okay.
But I think this could work out really well for discussion of performance practice. And I may start another one or two of these. I'm thinking about, you know what? I just got inspired. I think I'm going to do another one right now. That's not what I want to do. Okay, I'm good with that. I think I'm going to start one on worship. Now, I have not assigned this, so nobody get nervous. But we may use this later. I think, we're just going to say worship choir discussion. What is a worship choir? What say ye, class? I'm kind of on my third or fourth evolution on this, Linda, because you've been in a class where I've done Facebook as a group, and I do think that, in fact, you would be a great person to share your thoughts because you've seen us do that. I think there were certain advantages to that. I think it felt more human.
Yeah.
I'm not anti-Blackboard. I just think Blackboard tends to be behind the times.
Right.
And for straight up discussion like this discussion we're going to have here on these score studies, this is fine. This is probably the best way to do it. But for other things like performance practice, or we're going to talk about worship choirs maybe here, I think it might be better. So I'm kind of experimenting too, and I'm certainly interested in y'all's feedback because I've got an online class with 60 people. It's kind of hard to get realistic feedback from 60. Somebody may just be in a bad mood, but I can get realistic feedback from you guys, and particularly since this is our first run to do this, I really want your feedback. I think maybe Blackboard discussion is our ongoing default, but there might be other ways to have some of the discussion that would be better. So let's look at what Ryan's done here. I see some good things here. I see he's putting in some translations. That's good. He's probably got some words underlined that he wants to emphasize. That may be what his circle here. Can you see my cursor? Or do you just see? Okay. So this circle right there, I like that. He's probably showing us, I assume he's showing us he thinks that might be a problem. So we might have to ask him, what does he mean by that? Fenton uses the circle to say this could be a pitch problem. All right, looks like he's got some chord analysis. That's good. Now, he may be doing this in a different way, but it would be good to use underlines sometimes. Underlines might be helpful. Underlines are good to know where's the phrase going. Like, are you trying to move toward a certain phrase, word in a phrase? Does that make sense, Linda?
Yes. Yes.
So that, so like, and again, on Renaissance, we talked about, you could just use like the one beat instead of thinking of it in 4, because Palestrina would not have thought of this in 4. Palestrina would not have thought of this in 4. So, and they would not have had a conductor even. So for us, how do we get this to happen? So, do, ra. Or if I'm moving towards I might start. I can't see a video of myself. Can you see in the top right corner, Linda? Can you see my hand?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So I might start really soft but low. Do. If I want to go toward Ra, see how I got bigger there? Do. Ra. I could go lower or I could go out. Okay. Probably not too much on the first phrase. Then I'm saying, then I have to ask myself, I don't think we talked about this on the first Saturday, but a point of emphasis on the first phrase should not be the same as the culmination point of the whole piece. Like there should be one moment in this piece that we say, this is the high point. Palestrina pretty much always has that. Okay. Now just glancing at this, where do you think it probably is?
Hard to see on there.
Yeah, it is. I'm having a little trouble making it out myself, but just kind of glancing, what might you guess? Where do you think the high point might be? Second line or third line?
I guess the third line.
Yeah, where on the third line?
Domine, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th measure, maybe.
Yeah, maybe here. I'm wondering maybe here. Yeah. But yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Now, so then we might look and say, is anything interesting happening with harmony? I think it's more just going to be the build of the lines. And then I'd be interested to know, okay, how many total measures in this piece? 45, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. Okay, so we have 32. We have 32 total measures. Now, if you go with it's interesting. A lot of times high points are often golden means. A golden mean is like a law in nature. It's about 60%. So 60% of 32 would be more like measure 18 or 19. But that doesn't look, we'd have to listen to it, of course, but 18, 19 does not look like a high point to me. So I think probably we're dealing with 23 to measure 25 or 26. The point, though, is whatever I'm going to do to get emphasis there, if I'm going to go lower or go out, it should be bigger down here than it is at the top. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yeah.
And that takes a lot of discipline to do that, but that's something that you could practice even with a recording. You don't even have to have a live choir to do that. So you could move towards your high point down here at the bottom.
Okay.
Now, like I told you last week, Linda, if you wanted for your weekly conducting this week, If you wanted to do your choir at church, that could be your 20th, 21st century piece for this week.
Okay. I've got one for tonight.
Yeah, and that's the same as this assignment 3, begin score study on a 20th, 21st century piece. And so you could do something you're doing with choir. That'd be fine. And it doesn't even necessarily have to be. Now you could use the church piece. Our only problem, and I know you guys do great stuff. I'm not criticizing your church. Your only challenge is going to be, I don't know if I want you doing score study on something that you don't really feel like is an enduring piece. Okay. So right. That's the only challenge. I would actually be okay with you just without doing the score study, doing a video of something you're doing with your church choir, just because that's going to be a lot more helpful. And then your score study could be on a different piece.
Okay. I like that.
Do you see what I'm saying? Because I do want you to get the benefit of doing score studies, because I would actually encourage you to save these score studies. You know, if you're doing a score study on a rudder piece, like save it, because you might come back and conduct that at some point.
Okay.
All right, good deal. And let's just do a little preview of where we are next week. If I can find the calendar really quick. I don't think that's it. Hold on.
That's it.
The date scared me on that. Okay, I might have made it because that was August. Okay. All right. Let's see here. So this is week 5. So next week, of course, this doesn't have all the details of the weekly assignments, but gives you at least an overview. Yeah. So conducting assignment 3 is going to be, you know, I'm using that separate nomenclature, W2A, those are workshop. So when you see a W2B, that's to get something ready for a workshop. So these conducting assignments, these are like the weekly things you're doing either with your church choir or you're doing on your own.
Okay.
So I'll give you a specific guidance, but for you, Linda, we're saying on an ongoing basis you can do some videoing there with your church choir, which is fine.
Okay.
And then YouTube observation that is you watching a conductor on YouTube. I'll tell you one I would highly recommend if I can find him. Let's see if I can find this real quick. I got too many windows open now. Hold on. I'm going to turn off sharing just for a second. Oh, we got somebody else join us. Ryan, I didn't know you were there. We were talking about your score analysis. Did we? Was it okay what we said? We didn't offend you, did we? We had one question, like the only thing I didn't see was like underlining the high point of the phrase. Were you using something else to show the high point of the phrase? Oh, he's chatting with me. Oh, okay, no problem. So, Linda, he's just saying that he agreed. He did say he agreed with us that the third line was the high point.
Okay.
So, if the 3 of us agree, it's got to be right. The 3 of us agree. Okay, I got a little smile out of Ryan on that. Okay, okay. So I want to just give you an example. I'll share this screen if I can find it real quick. Helmet reeling would be now he's a Baroque specialist, but you would just find him interesting. But I've also, another one that does some great rehearsal work is James Levine. Just incredible. Okay, I think this is one that maybe this video will play in a way you can see it.
That's what I try to do. Don't mention that word. Says it was this moment he really was not built this unbelievable orchestra.
This may be just a commercial. I'm trying to find him.
See what memories you have, and we'll show you some things from the past.
Do you remember? My God, after 40 years, you know, the length of this time.
All right, I'm working on finding here. There's one where he works with high school students. It's just incredible. Okay, well, here's a little bit of a rehearsal with him. Maybe this.
The soprano, Stephanie.
Yes, very, very good. Steffi, you've got to make sure that we can tell from your eyes, right, that you're...
Okay, all right, I'm going to play this for you. All right. Y'all tell me if you can see this. This is really cool. I'm just showing you the kind of stuff you can find on YouTube. It's amazing. All right, can y'all see the YouTube screen now?
Yes.
All right, now keep in mind, these people in this room, these are the best of the best. Okay? These people know what they're doing. And now I really wanted you to see, Linda, him working with he's got some clips where he's working with high school orchestra.
Oh, wow.
It's just incredible. It would be super beneficial for what you do with church orchestra. But just notice his interactions here.
Very, very good. Steffi, you've got to make sure that we can tell from your eyes, right, that it's absolutely for real, and we can tell from yours when you get it. The same thing. Let's just go back a tiny touch. It was very, very
Can
good.
y'all hear what he's saying?
Yes.
All right. Did you notice how well he knew the score? Holy cow. He was singing it with them. And then he's telling this professional opera singer, he's giving her a little bit of advice on the acting part of singing.
Parla più forte. Parla più forte, and non ridere. She's laughing. And you just make the gesture like you're going to cover your mouth, but don't really do it or the audience will miss it. That's right. Very good. How about, Steffi, that was great. The second entrance has to go up a step that way. Can I have just before that, Jonathan, somewhere?
All right, now this kind of contradicts the Eichenberger model because he's talking a lot, right? So this kind of goes to show us, well, there are other perspectives out there, you know, and this is not a choir rehearsal. It's not exactly the same thing, but he's really talking them through this.
Misericordia. Ah, hysterical. Big eyes, Alice.
Now, did you see the way he gave them instruction as they were singing? He told her big eyes, and then he said big eyes as she was singing. I've noticed that James Levine does a lot of that. Like while in rehearsals, when he's conducting, he'll talk to people as he's conducting. Okay. Now, Eichenberger would have never had us do that. Mm-hmm. To him, it all had to be with the hands and nonverbal. And in his mind, if you couldn't show it nonverbally, you're not clear. It's your fault. But I'm wanting you to show you, your graduate students, right? So I'm wanting you to collect taxonomies, collect perspectives. A YouTube video like this is a way to collect another perspective. Okay, you could go to Robert Shaw. I mean, there's a lot of, other things, obviously, that you could look at. And this is not necessarily the one I would recommend most. I just don't want to waste your time. there's one where he works with high school students. That's even better than this. I was trying to find it, and I'm just having trouble seeing it. Yeah, I know it's out there. You might be. It was like an NPR interview. Oh, this might be good. This is
incomparable Met for
had to work, which is why I'm a few minutes late. In any case, let's do Act 2, please. 1, 2, 1, 2. There we are.
You have been #1 for over 40 years.
Well, that might be just more informational, but this is just a quick look here at how much is available out there with things like YouTube. And just want you to be aware that you can watch a Robert Shaw rehearsal. You would learn so much by watching a Robert Shaw rehearsal. Mm-hmm. So anyway, that just gives you an idea of the kind of things I'm looking for. You could, watch 10 to 20 minutes, and you're just doing a review of it. Okay. Now, are you keeping in mind some of the things we're saying about nonverbal and what you're learning about analyzing recording? Yes. At the same time, we don't want to come across, if we're analyzing James Levine, like he doesn't know what he's doing. Holy cow, he's like the greatest, some people say he's the greatest living conductor. So he obviously knows what he's doing. I'll tell you this, one thing all these people have in common, did that guy know the scores? Oh, holy cow, did he know the scores? So, one common variable we're seeing, regardless of approach, is the most effective people really know the scores. They really know them. And to some extent, they operate out of their personality. And sometimes they even act, because that 60-minute video, Linda, that 60-minute expose on him was, I guarantee you, all about his back troubles. You notice he was having to sit in a special chair. Right. And so even though we're talking about standing tall and that affects the sound, in Eichenberger, we'd have to admit he's a picture of health. He's like in his late 80s. He's still standing tall. It's unbelievable. So that's a good goal to shoot for. But if you do end up with back problems and you end up, is God done with you? No. I mean, Levine is a picture of how, man, he's still getting these great sounds in spite of those limitations. So all sorts of things to learn there. All right. Anybody have a question? That's all I have for you.
I have a couple questions.
Okay.
You sent us the video of what we recorded at the workshop, and you said that evaluation is due this week? That's what you said last week? But you didn't have it on the weekly assignments. The hybrid meeting review.
Oh, okay.
Because under the assignments, you have.
Yeah, but if I didn't put it there, if I didn't put it there, then I'll probably put it next week, because I don't want to surprise people in the middle of the week. So yeah, that's probably what I intended. But I'll probably end up giving you another week, because if it's not clear, I'd rather give you another week.
Okay, because under assignments, it has a place for hybrid meeting review 1. I didn't know if you wanted both recordings done on the same thing, or they're two separate evaluations, one for the
Blackboard. You talking about Blackboard? Where does it say? Does it say that in Blackboard?
Under assignments, where we submit the assignments?
Yeah.
I just didn't know, it says the 20th, 21st century, but there is no place for the Baroque one done, or Renaissance.
All right, let me go. All right, let's go to assignments. Hybrid meeting review 1. Oh yeah, I need to add hybrid meeting review 2.
Okay, that's what I was making sure there were 2 separate things.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
I'm
And
gonna,
then my other,
hybrid meeting review number 2, and that would be the Renaissance or Baroque piece presented in the hybrid meeting, in hybrid meeting 1.
those will be due next week then?
Yeah, we'll make them due next week since you didn't even have a place to do that. In fact, I'll just put that for next Saturday.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay, my other question was on the article review. One place you said we needed to do it on a wiki. The other place you said it was a Google Drive.
Okay, so what I want you to do on that is, first of all, let me ask you this. Have you decided whether you want to do yours alone or with other people?
I much prefer to do it by myself.
All right, that's fine. Then all you need to do is, I do want others to be able to see it. So you may need to post it in Google Drive. Okay. But not to see my remarks, but just so they can read your article. Okay.
Okay.
But everybody, and so since I'm recording right now, everybody, there may be some, I'm allowing people to work on it as a group. So some may take advantage of that. And if they do, those people who are doing it as a group, they'll need to share it with everybody through Google Drive so they can see it. But they also will need to download it and submit it in Blackboard. So everybody will need to submit it in Blackboard.
And when is that due?
Article 1 is due this week, week 5, Saturday.
Okay.
That's on your class calendar.
Right.
So let me review you on something here. Every week there are weekly assignments that go beyond big projects. Okay. So like, for example, this week, there are weekly assignments, and it says due weekly hybrid conducting assignments. But then some weeks you have a bigger project due. So this week, under week 5, it says Article 1 due. So that would be Saturday. Any big project that's due, it's always going to be Saturday. Of course, you can turn it in before that, but.
Well, my question on, and I was looking to see if you had written this somewhere. I went to the Journal of Research and Music Ed, and I found some articles that I was interested in, but in order to open them, I either have to have a subscription, or it said to go through your library, through your institution. So when I went through,
you're going to have to call them and get the passwords.
Okay.
You have you'll never figure it out on your own. The easiest way to do this is, now they might have them posted somewhere online, but they change them from time to time. Okay. And I've got to be careful about posting them. Okay. In fact, I didn't do it, but we got in trouble over a database, I think, where a professor had just posted the passwords. So I've got to be careful about, so you actually need to contact the library directly. You as a student, it's one reason I'm doing this, by the way. You're a third-year student, and you didn't even know you had access to the Journal of Research and Music Education.
I know.
So that's part of why we do this, is for you to find out about these kind of things. So if you'll call the library, okay, they'll tell you how you can get access. If you want, is that your last question? I'll call them right now and keep you online and see if we can get an answer for you right now.
Yes, I'm good. If I can figure that out, then I think I've got it.
Okay, I'm stopping the recording class because I don't want this to be on our Bluetooth recording, but we're stopping now, and I'm going to keep Linda online to try to answer this question for her. All right, I'm going to keep you online. I'm going to